Duck Head Brad, this is the real spill. Listen, it's my birthday. Or it's not my birthday by itself. I want to let you know that I am in famous company. So I share the birthday. A whole lot of famous people, but mainly only two that I really identify with just about every year. Number one, it's Scottie Pippen's birthday today too. That's right. Scottie Pippen's Scottie Pippen's birthday. What I wanted to say was, it don't make no sense that Jordan's son is dating Scottie Pippen's wife. That just doesn't make no sense. And me and Scottie come from these volatile scenarios where exes go off to date random raggedy people and it just don't make no sense. So me and Scottie, we share that alike. Also, it's Will Smith's birthday today. You guys know that? Me and Will Smith share the same birthday. Will Smith's situation, he got himself an entanglement with a wife that seems to like it elsewhere. I ain't gonna talk about that. That's just bringing up too much trauma right now. But I'm just saying, it's our birthday. I share the birthday with famous people. It's fantastic. One of the things that I wanted to say today, because I haven't been on for a little while, the birthday turn up, I kind of ignored the YouTube for at least a weekend, is there comes a time in every man's life where when you've got to make serious choices for radical change. That's my if you're a preacher and you want that, take that. Serious choices for radical change. And I'm going to talk to the men. Ladies, this is for you too, but I'm really going to talk to the men. Because it seems like, I don't know, it seems like men are really under the microscope these days. There is two major things that you have to do with your life. Young men, older men, that will dictate whether or not you are successful easy. So sometimes you can do all this wrong. You can do these two things wrong and still be successful, but it won't be easy. Number one is education. This sounds really basic, but it's really true. And having that sound high school foundation that allows you to go on to post-secondary and get yourself into a field of study, either a very, very strong trade or a field of study that takes you to two particular places, higher learning or higher earning. That's all it is. It's higher learning or higher earning. That is number one on the list. Now, there's a lot of guys who don't have education, but they have done things with their lives that have got them involved in various things. They're making money. They've made good business moves. They got in at the right time. So don't get me wrong. Some guys are construction guys, and some guys invest in various different types of endeavors. Some guys turn their funny money into good money, which is a lot. A lot of brothers out there who've done that. I know too many. They were cocaine guys, and then they took the cocaine money and they turned it into something else. Now they're acting like they're balling, but they're really levitating from illegal foundations and then doing things good. And it looks like, oh, this guy's balling. He's not balling. He had a platform of illegality. But so what, right? He turned it around. He's done his thing, and he's done it without education. But like I said, some things are harder to do. Some things are hard. So the foundation of education that puts you towards a trajectory of higher learning or higher earning, meaning don't just go to university and take liberal arts. Don't just go to university and take sociology. Say, I got a sociology degree. What's going to happen? You're going to get out and you're going to make low paying money because it's not higher learning and it's not higher earning. If you became a doctor or got a master's degree in sociology, then you step into a different category of what you can do in life. But the number one thing, we've been told this, is education, the foundation of education towards higher learning or higher earning. Engineering degree, undergrad engineering degree, you can write your ticket, baby. Write your ticket. You got an undergrad in engineering, head out there into the world, young man, young woman. You can do anything you like. Now, that is number one. It's the easiest one. This second one is the hardest one. This is a make or breaker. Who you decide to marry or have children with. We know these days people just knocking people up anyway, so who you decide to marry or have children with will make or break your life, young man. That's why I talk to the men about this. Women can survive being single mothers and they can get the support structures and go on, and it's difficult for them, but men, once you have too many children, too many wives, too many responsibilities, you're caught in that court system, you're dealing with divorces, you're dealing with people who are infringement on your reputation, because most ladies today, they're not leaving and saying he was a wonderful fellow, we just didn't get along. Nope, they're dragging you all the way through the mud. And so once you have made an unwise choice about the woman that you decide to stay with, have children with, marry, you have created a lifetime of harm to your life. Okay? These are your birthday blessings. Listen. If I go back to the original analogy of the two famous men that I share life with, I share birthdays life with. Scottie Pippen, one of the greatest smears to his career is the fact that that woman is now running around with Michael Jordan's son. It makes him almost, it mars his legacy. Yeah, Scottie's made money. He's lost a lot of money too because he was robbed by one of his financial advisors. So he had a little money issue happening. But he made some good money in his career. And then of course, that woman absconded with some of it after the divorce, no doubt. And then Will Smith, who has been the chief earner, interestingly enough for Will, he made a great amount of money. Jada had her money too, but Will made more. And Will Smith's Grammy, or was it Grammy? Yeah, it was. Well, why was it taken away? Was it taken away because Will did something horrible in respect to the community? No. Defending his wife, who some people think isn't the kind of woman you should actually defend. He's gotten his biggest black eye in his career. He's gotten blacklisted and things like this. I'm hearing that has happened to him, which is very serious. The Academy has banned him, and quite frankly, you could say, well, he was defending Jada because of her alopecia, and we know that Will's sensitivity around Jada has nothing to do with her hair. We know that. We know he's a very sensitive man when it comes to that woman, not because she's lost her hair, because of other reasons. And a lot of these things that people don't understand have underlying effects on people's lives. Oh my goodness, am I getting blessed for my birthday? Bruce, blessings, man. I appreciate it. I will try to keep up the good. Oh my goodness, $25 from Bruce Parks. Bruce, you man, I appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate you so much. God bless you. Father, even bless him. Return it on to him 1,000 times, so many more, for having faith in your servant today. But we have to be extremely careful as men who we decide to build a legacy with. There's a game called Jenga. Jenga. He was rid of Jenga. And Jenga's a thing that you can build up, right? You build it up, and then you got to poke out certain spots without making the whole thing fall down, right? I think that's the game I'm talking about. I think that's the right game. Marrying the wrong woman is Jenga. Because you're going to build a life, you're going to build up a reputation, you're going to build up a public image, you're going to build up a legacy, and then all of a sudden you've got to start a scenario where the relationship falls apart, where somebody's now pulling key pieces away. Oh, let me take some of your pension. Let me take some of your 401k. Let me take some of your access to your children. Let me take some of your good reputation in the community. And let me tell you something about reputation. Let's close this thing, I guess. Probably super loud for you guys. It must be crazy loud. I apologize for that. I should have thought of that. Let me explain something about your reputation. Even before the internet age, because we know the internet now, it's kind of hard to hide stuff. Somebody made you go viral for something terrible. It's always out there. But let's go before that. Community reputation. Let's say you're a political figure, and you have a mess up with your significant other. That sticks with you. You're a clergyman, sticks with you. You're a policeman, sticks with you. Any type of social figure that has a mess up with their significant other, it sticks with you. And rumors stick with you. People with bad things to say about you. Something very simple in Canada, I don't know how it is in the States. If you want to get a firearm, do you know that you got to allow your ex-wife to be on? They call your ex-wife and say, hey, you think your ex-husband should have a firearm? Imagine. Things like that, things that you have no idea can affect you. They can affect you. And let me tell you something, man. Wow, this one hurts. You got to be careful that people are marrying the man, and they're not marrying the image of the man. Women, you got to do this too. I know a young lady to this day thought the grass was greener on the other side. Went to the other side and realized that man that wanted that package, that beautiful package, he was not interested in the details. He wasn't interested in the intimate DNA of who that woman was. He wanted her to be something in his life. Now, when he started Jenga in her life and started I don't like that you can't do this, and I don't like that you're like this, and I don't like, and he starts Jengaing that woman to pieces, she fell apart. The relationship fell apart. She had to run for her doggone emotional life. Because people don't usually fall in love with people. They fall in love with what people can do for the people. Fall in love with who you are going to be. Fall in love with who they think you are. Fall in love with what can you do for me. Fall in love with image. Fall in love with pretense. But they don't fall in love with the person. The most egregious, I think, dereliction of the marital vow that has taken place in the history of modern marriage is the breaking of this vow, for better or for worse. The worse. You see, the preacher can say everything else. Forsaking all others, okay? Don't commit no adultery. Listen, don't go back to your mama's house. Don't argue. Don't beat her. Don't hit him. Don't do it. But whatever he didn't cover, whatever he left out, for better or for worse, covers it. I was watching one of my favorite episodes of Country Wayne. Country Wayne, Amber, and Dalton are getting married. Go check it out for yourself. And the preacher sits down and starts to say, listen, this is the one thing I'm going to start and tell you before you guys start counseling. You have to agree from the beginning of counseling to take divorce off the table. Because when I hit you with for better or for worse, there's nothing that has not been covered in that. And so we have now a generation of people who are getting married for the better and will absolutely depart. Jump out of the boat, parachute out of the plane for the worse. For the worse. For the worse. And man, there's two kinds of brothers out there. There's guys beating their chest saying, baby, when you get with me, oh, I'm going to do this for you, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to be able to do this, and I'm going to be able to that. And he's beating his chest on all the things he can do for you. And you're falling in love with, oh my gosh, he's such an amazing man. He's done this for me, and you know, I'm driving a beautiful car. He's got this nice car. Oh, he's taking me on trips. Oh, you know what? I just wanted something, and he provided it. I'm thinking of a couch, and a red couch showed up. Oh my goodness, have you seen the Tesla that I drove? Oh, we're going to Morocco. Oh, okay, wonderful. Who's the man, though, bro? Explain to me the man. Well, you know, he's got some issues, and he's kind of angry, and he's kind of this, and he's not really a nice person, but, you know, he's caring. What? You know, he treats me so well, but he doesn't talk to me well. He's very harsh with me. He's, what? Huh? What? and you know, I think I should break up with him, but I don't know, and he's broken up with me, but I don't know if I should be with him. What? Huh? Pardon me, what's going on? Listen, some of you have no idea of what you're jumping into. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine having children with that monster. Imagine that, and these days, those Negroes are breathing you before they marry you, okay? A lot of you women out here are becoming mothers before you become wives. A lot of you. They sampling the goods long before they ever say I do. Long before. Some of you parents have met dozens of men coming through the house talking about, hi, Mrs. Jenkins. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I want to be the next husband to your beautiful daughter. Well, boy, you're the fourth guy in here. You're the fourth guy in here in 6 months. So you know what? I don't even want to know your name. You don't last a year. Some of you parents will say, unless you've been dating him for a year, don't even bring him home. Don't even bring him home. Or bring him home from the beginning, before you start all the shenanigans. Yeah. Listen, men, some of these women they're not here for you, bro. They're here for what you can do. And so I do this, because it's true. I'm not interested in letting you know what I can do for you. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, I probably can't do nothing for you. I can sit down and talk to you. I can educate you. I'm going to be tender with you. But you trying to be rich with me, I don't know. I'm not a man of means. I don't know. Will we struggle? Probably not, because I'm going to live in a position where I don't have to financially struggle. I'm not going to keep up with the Joneses. Yeah, you're going to eat good, look good, dress good. I don't know what label's going to be on it. I don't know what name tag. The bootleg lady might get you the thing. It might not be, you know, the thing all the way from Holt Renfrew, but it'll look like it. You know. But are you willing to invest in the man? Are you willing to invest in the woman? There is nothing more amazing than a tender-hearted, fragile, intelligent woman that is ready to settle down and be everything that man wants her to be. But if you walk in there and you're like, well, you know, when I need you to be like this, and I need you to be like that, and I need you to do this, and I need you to do that, bro, you didn't learn what you're getting. A lot of brothers and women, they blame women for this. Men do it more. A lot of you guys want to give these women on-the-job training. That's not how they used to do it back in the day. Back in the day, you start dating a girl, you go see her father, said, you know, Mr. Bartholomew, I'd like to come in and date Bernice. And he'd say to you, well, come on over to the house for dinner. I'm going to make Bernice and her mama make up a meal, and you come sit down, we'll have a conversation. So boom, right away you get to that house, you sit down, what's happening? I'd like to let you know the meatloaf, that's Bernice. She made that meatloaf. She helped her mom. In fact, Bernice made everything here. Her mom just looked at her. So you're getting a woman that can cook. You're like, oh, wow. Bernice is sitting there smiling, looking at you eating her food. And then dad starts quizzing you. Well, what's going on with you? Are you in school? Are you working? What are you doing? And you start getting the business. Men don't do that now. You Negroes got 2 and 3 baby mamas. You slipping into people's houses, grinning and smiling. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Maybe something wrong with you. Maybe you're 35 years old, never really been in a relationship because something is wrong with your little pointy head self, your little chubby neck self. Where's your daddy? Let me talk to them. I'll meet your parents and have a conversation. Where's your mama from? You know, we don't do those kind of vettings anymore. And a lot of you are getting into bed with the enemy. Absolutely. And this is the last part of it. Let's say you have done all the vetting. You have done all the testing and the double checking. One of the greatest things a parent can do in a marriage, the greatest thing that an in-law can do to their son or son-in-law, or daughter and daughter-in-law in a marriage, this is what you need to do. Keep the heck out of their marriage. That's what you need to do. Stay out of it. Don't help them break up. Don't help them argue. Don't help them disagree. Stay out of it. Say, hey, you married him. That's my son-in-law now. You married him. That's my daughter-in-law. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Listen, I met this man's mother and father. I met this girl's mother and father. You guys are going to work it out. In fact, let me call her daddy and see. Listen, what's going on with these kids right now? I don't know. I hear some stuff. Let me tell you something. I didn't spend $15,000 on a wedding, and I know you dropped $35,000 because you got that big house in the hill. But I didn't spend my $15,000 for these kids to be arguing, talking about divorce, because the divorce should not even be on the table. Shouldn't be on the table. And let me tell you something. There's always another person. Hey. There's always another person. You know that? There's always another person. You think, oh no, you know, I'm going to get divorced. And there's no, it's always another person. It's always somebody else. And you know what that other person brings to the table? The same thing. Same exact thing. Same 2 legs, same 2 eyes, same head, same thing. They're bringing the same thing to the table. And I tell you right now, if you covenanted with it, married it, said I do to it, you better lay down and hug it up and call it love, buddy. You better do it. I know a lot of you are not with that. Oh no, I'm not going to stay any place. God would not want me to be there, and so and so and so. Listen, man, people have been in marriages where they can say, I hated this man for 10 years, but the last 15, I love him to death. Oh man, I couldn't stand her the first 5 years, Pastor. First 5 years, my goodness, I said, what have I done to my life? But now, she's my best friend. Listen, this is really a real thing. These are real things, because this is the thing when you get married. You put God in it. You put God in it. God will look around and say, oh, these 2 people are jacked up. I got to do something in here. Start molding, changing, fixing, grooming. All of a sudden, Martha, you looking kind of good today. I go, you looking good too, Big Daddy. All of a sudden, God has changed your heart. He's molded your mind. He's shifted some things. All of a sudden, you've got something that you didn't have before, because God's in a marriage. God ain't in a shack up. He's not in a shack up. He ain't sitting around in your shacked up relationship. He ain't. I'm sorry, I don't believe in it. He ain't sitting around in your shacked up. You want to shack up? That's what we used to call it back in the day. I don't know what you young people call it now. It's called shacking up. He ain't in a shack up. Guess what else he's not in? He's not in your divorce. He's not in that either. He's not in it. And some of y'all want to get divorced and then want to drag God to the next covenant. And he's like, I'm not like that. I'm still in this covenant, chilling. Why don't y'all come on back here and have a conversation with me? Because I'm not just making multiple covenants for you. Period. Do you believe in divorce? I believe that sometimes divorce is necessary. I also believe that all the time reconciliation is necessary. Did you hear what I just said? Sometimes people need to get divorced to realize, hey, you know what? I'm an idiot. Or I need to change. I need to fix myself up. Or I'm dangerous to my family. Or I've done so many terrible things that I've destroyed things. I need to fix this. But reconciliation, I believe in that more than I believe in divorce. Because when you get a separation, you put some space between the thing, you talk about it, you go to counseling, you go to church, you realize that everybody out here is the same thing in different complexions, different hair, different colors of complexions of teeth, different clothes, but you're all dealing with the same thing. You're going to realize, you know what, I might as well just kept this girl. When you realize that court system is going to rape and pillage you, you better go back to your house and sit down and look at that woman again, look at that man again, say, well, he ain't so ugly. You know what? I don't mind her extra weight after the 2 kids. You know what? I think I'm going to be okay. Because, like I said, it ain't getting any better out there. It ain't getting any better out there. Oof. I'll remember your birthday. Okay. You find my birthday is the 28th. Okay. She's the 28th. That's 3 days. Remember, we gotta make sure I'm on here. The 28th. Brian Holmes and everybody, Miss Yvonne. Listen. Cancer, we defeat you in Jesus' name. But listen, you need to understand that life, God created life for humans, for covenant and relationship. That's it. Period. You know, I was beating myself up today. I really was. Every time I have a birthday, I sit back, I reflect, and I say, man, boy, you ain't where you're supposed to be, man. Man, you were doing so much better in your 30s. You were killing it. What happened to you? It's like, I don't know, man. And I do that every birthday I do that. All right? 2 major reasons. I don't think I'm even going to get into it. But I do it every day, every year on my birthday. Because birthdays, and this is why, birthdays are usually so important that your significance always celebrate your birthday with you. And so when there is no more a significant relationship, what takes place is your birthday, now you realize, you know, you're reminded, especially with Google Photos. Google Photos, man, I hate Google Photos. I'm telling you, boy. Every year it comes back. Oh man, yeah. You got to see the same. You got to see that situation all over again. My marriage was on my birthday, so my birthday is not really the greatest day for me, right? It's not really a great day. I don't really look forward to my birthday, to be honest with you. You know, being a guy on the other side of marriage, and you know, I never really look forward to it. And going into new relationships is the same thing. I'm like, I'm not big with my birthday. You know, I'm not really a big guy with my birthday. Because, you know, I come from such a strong conservative background that growing up, and Yvonne can recognize this, and Miss Ann maybe too. We were taught as Christians coming up that divorce is a sin. And of course, any sin, you're going to hell, right? You got sin, you're going to hell. So once you're divorced, that's a sin, you know, and if you got sin on you, you're going to hell. And so we came up in this thing where, you know, there's no divorce. Divorce is off the table. You can't get divorced. You can't get remarried. It's like nothing. No pastor in the apostolic church back when I was growing up, not these new apostolics. These new apostolics got women bishops and all kind of stuff happening here. Homosexuals doing something. You know, hey, listen, do what you want, but don't put it in the church. That's all I got to say. You can do what you want. That's between you and God. But once you bring it in the church, I'm a talk. Period. You can do what you want. I listen. You go have the pride parade down Main Street. Just don't have it in the church. Do what you want. Do whatever you want. You want to have a whole bunch of chicks? Go ahead. Just don't have it in the church. So I'm saying the church that we came up with was so conservative that now when reality hits your life, it's like, well, they told us we could not get divorced. And I was a minister. So as a pastor, as a bishop, you're like, yeah, well, divorce is not on the table, right? But when those things are taken out of your hands, when the other party is saying, well, I don't care if you don't believe in divorce. I don't care if the church don't believe in divorce. I'm getting divorced. Right? Now you stuck. And I've had my bishops tell me, my bishops have told me, all three of my bishops, I have three covering bishops that cover me. For those of you who don't know, I'm a bishop. People are you an ex-bishop? There's no such thing as an ex-anything. Once you hit it, once you're it, that's what you are. You can't be an ex-anything, or else you never were it. But they've said, we're allowing you to go and get remarried. We will allow you to get remarried. Your wife didn't listen. We consider her an unbeliever. She's essentially excommunicated from that reformation because she didn't listen to the bishop, listen to the wives. She didn't sit down and say, no, the church cannot allow you to go through a divorce with your husband, reconcile, go to counseling, take the time. She ran her way. She went her way. So they said, we don't consider her. We're not going to hold that against you as a man of God. You can go out and get a wife. But still, I came up like a conservative Christian boy. We don't do that. We don't just go pick up new wives. We don't do that. This is the oxymoronic part about it, right? But let me go, before I hit the oxymoronic part, what am I talking about? That legacy is affected by who you're marrying, right? As a divorced bishop, I felt the need to close a church. As a divorced bishop, I don't feel that qualified in my reformation to go and stand before people and do all of the things that a bishop does, because you married an individual that decided that they weren't interested in the relationship anymore. They did not have the same faith you had for the marriage and for their faith to say, I'm going to help the church and show example and work through this. They didn't do that. So now your legacy is affected by somebody else's choice forever. And you can cover it up, you can hide it, you can dress it up, you can go find somebody else. But at the end of the day, that venue, that area of your life that you are known for, where I've been a church boy for a long time. So I'm a bishop, I'm a church boy. But now you're kind of defunct. They're not going to invite you to the same conferences. They're not going to invite you to speak at the same places. Your church is hard because now where's First Lady and all these kind of things. The legacy component of who you are is affected because of who you chose to marry. And whether or not that woman had every great reason in the world to leave, whether or not she's an angel sent down from heaven and God swooped her back up and said, my beautiful angel, you can go and fly somewhere else and do other things. No matter what it is, there's a legacy infringement there that's hard to get around, right? And she ain't an angel, and she ain't no angel that fell from heaven. I'm just saying that right now. She's a wonderful human being, and I'm hoping that her life works out fantastic. I hope great things. She's the mother of my children and whatnot, but those things are difficult, right? Those things are difficult when you're dealing with that as a man in legacy, period. I've seen men do crazy things in church and it not affect them, but for the most part, they're just extremely fortunate. But like I said, when you pick the wrong person, it is detrimental. It is detrimental to what you're doing. Does God have the renewal to be able to change that? Absolutely. You shouldn't find yourself, marooned on bad decision island. My mom, boy, I was going to say something. It slipped my mind. It's going to come back to me. I wanted to say something, but it's going to come back. But I want to hit you with my mother's birthday greeting this morning. My mother had a heck of a birthday greeting this morning, Miss Ann. Thank you very much, Miss Ann. Bless you. I'm going to read these comments too. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. We got some French people in the place. My mother said, bless you, happy Mother's Day, happy birthday. And she said, I hope you make better choices with your life because that woman got you in the poorhouse. I was like, what kind of birthday, what kind of birthday greeting is this? Those are Caribbean mothers, man. Caribbean moms, boy, those ladies are different, right? That woman got you in the poorhouse. I hope you make better decisions with your life in the future. I'm like, hold on a second. I'm university educated. I got multiple degrees. I ain't never been in trouble. I never been in jail. I'm saved, sanctified, full of the Holy Ghost. What? If it's the poorhouse, I'm okay with the poorhouse. I don't want the outhouse, and I don't want hell. I'll be all right as long as it's a house. So these legacies are things that people just carry around, man. You're carrying these things. I go every day that I go pick up my daughters. I go pick up my daughters in the house I bought. My house. I bought it. I wasn't married when I bought the house. I bought the house, right? Got married, lived out, a couple decades in that house. And now that house don't belong to me anymore, right? But it's legacy. It's sitting right there. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, there go my house. There go my house, Jesus. Right? Well, what does that mean? Is it just it's millions of dollars? It's that's the bishop's house. Well-known, big house, quarter unit. That's the bishop's house. Ain't that the bishop's house? That they see me mowing the lawn for decades. Hey, shoveling snow. Hey, growing up children. Hey. But now, I don't know who's in that house. I know my children are in the house, their mom, but I don't know who else is in that house. These are important things for men. Not many men survive these things. I've had some friends who've taken their lives over things like this. To me, it's just a doggone house. It's $1 million house, but it's still a house. Just a house. It's just brick. If you can, and if you can do it once, you can do it again. But what happens on my birthday? Every year I sit back and I say, okay, boy. Whew, man, you lost a lot of stuff. What you gonna do to transform, change, improve? What are you gonna do? And I'll tell you right now, men, and I want to talk especially to the men who are similar to me. Your manhood is not defined in the stuff. Your manhood is defined by how you have built the qualities of your mind, your soul, your spirit, your capacity to speak to your environment and change it. That's your manhood. Your manhood's not the stuff. Stuff will come and stuff will go. Your manhood's not the stuff. I've had stuff, I've lost stuff, I've had stuff again, I've lost stuff again. Your manhood's not the women. Your manhood is your capacity to have wisdom, intelligence, your faith, to speak to your environment for change. That's mine. That's not a bumper sticker. Your manhood is your capacity with your mind, your intelligence, your faith to speak to your environment, and it can change. How do I get that? Jesus is asleep on the boat. The boat's about to tip over. The boat's storms are brewing. He gets up, and what does he do? He speaks to his environment. He speaks to his environment, and it changes. That's manhood. Manhood is the capacity to speak to your environment and change. Listen, there's people who can throw money at something, and there's people who can speak to it. Who has more power? Who has more power? I said this to a person. I said that, listen, there's a couple kind of men out here. There's brothers who got to pay for stuff, and there's brothers who just walk into it. You understand me? There are people like that. God is in a position with your life. When you're coming to build legacy, remember, it's not the stuff. The legacy is, this is the greatest legacy is, man, my mama used to say, that's legacy. My daddy used to say all the time, that's legacy. Oh, in the quote of the great Reverend King, he said, that's legacy. Because anything you can say that speaks to your environment for change will always keep being said. Anything that you can say that speaks to your environment for change will always keep being said. They will say, Brereton said this, and it was right in 2023. It's right in 2029. Because anything you can speak to your environment for change will keep being said. Your manhood, your adulthood, your legacy, ladies, so we don't just keep this on the man side of it, is what have you brought to the table in wisdom, your spirit, and your faith that allows you to speak to your environment that it can change. Some people are not business people. Some people are not going to have a side business. They're not going to be entrepreneurs. Not going to do that. Some people are not going to be great preachers. Some people are not going to be politicians. But you have to have the capacity to speak to your environment to change. Listen, you might not be able to speak to your own children. Your children don't listen to you. Your children don't take any direction from you. Your children don't mind you. But you're coaching some other kids. When you coach these other kids, they listen, they pay attention, they do what they're told, they're disciplined. They go on and be successful, and they come back and say, Coach, man, I remember when you told me to do that, and I did it, and you know what happened? It worked. There's something in your life that God has put you here for to speak to. For change, positive change, not good change. Satan understands the sentence I said. He's very good at that. He understands that sentence. He understands it from the garden because he said, let me speak to my environment for change. He spoke to Eve. Eve did something. Adam did something. It changed. The environment changed. Hey. There's always going to be, and I'm talking about relationships, there's always going to be three people involved in a relationship. Always three. It's going to be you, it's going to be the other person, and it's going to be God, or it's going to be you, it's going to be the other person, and it's going to be Satan. It's always going to be three people in a relationship. Right? We learned that in the garden. You, your significant other, God. You, significant Satan. First conversation was God talking, dealing with Eve. Second conversation was Satan talking to Eve, who dealt with Adam. It's always going to have those scenarios. And the question is, people calling me trying to tell me happy birthday. The question is, who will you allow to speak to your environment? They blow me up. They blow me up saying happy birthday. I appreciate it. My boy there, one of my deacons, he's trying to tell me happy birthday right now. There's always going to be a scenario where you have to figure out who is the person speaking to your environment, right? Everybody has the right to speak to your environment. Evil can speak to your environment. The question is, will you take what they're saying and speak to your environment too? Got to co-sign it. That's one of the greatest things I like about God. He says, I can speak to it, but it won't work until you co-sign it. Right? Where do I get that from? Because the Bible says it's impossible to please God without what? Faith. What is faith? Faith is speaking what God spoke to your environment. Otherwise, it's just empty. True faith. I know there's a definition in Hebrews 11. Faith is the what? The substance and the evidence. Substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. Right? Faith is speaking what God spoke to your environment. That's what faith is. Faith is speaking what God spoke to your environment. All right? What's evil? Evil is speaking what the devil spoke to your environment. And when you're in that marriage, you're in that relationship, in that situation, and that devil puts that in your head, this evil woman, oh, she's a terrible woman. And you come out your mouth and you say, listen, you old evil woman. You're speaking that to your relationship. You're speaking that to your environment. It's going to change. You got somebody, man, baby, I love you. I know you've got somebody else, but I just want to be in your life. You know, I would love if you're in my life too, but, what? No. You just spoke that to your environment. I wish you wouldn't mind. You know, that's unfortunate, but I have somebody else. Oh, you just spoke that to your environment. You got to be careful what you speak into your environment, man. You got to be careful what you speak into your environment. I know they're blowing me up. These kids are just blowing me up. They're hustling to try to see me right now because I'm going to my daughter's. But I just wanted to say those few words. And let me get off the phone. Hold on. Don't bring the fruit. Don't taste it. Don't even. You know what I'm saying? Let me say. Says the Libra man. I's a Libra. No, I'm the sign of the cross. I ain't no Libra. Am I a Libra? No, I'm a sign of the cross. I am the sign of the cross. Okay. I don't accept those zodiacs because I don't want those things to speak to my environment. I don't partake in it, right? I understand people try to identify signs and characteristic change, you know, and to be honest with you, some of them are very accurate as far as how people are and how some people behave. They're very accurate. You know, as far as the Libra thing, you know, I've had a very tumultuous relationship with another Libra, and you know, so that Libra thing might not be too far off. Might not be, but I personally don't speak to it. I just don't speak to it. I'm the sign of the cross. So, you want to give me a sign? Give me the money sign or the sign of the cross. I'll take them two signs, but I ain't taking the other ones. But I appreciate it. Yeah, that's all I got to say, really. I want you guys to have an amazing day on behest of me. Thank you very much to all the people that sewed and blessed me on my birthday. And I got to say this. I got to end with this, okay? And there's somebody who is part of our Spiel family who has stage 4 cancer. And I'm just going to ask you guys who are real prayer warriors to pray. They're part of our Spiel family. They're always on. All of you guys talk to the peer person. You don't even know who it is. I ain't going to tell you. I have skinless bloody parts in the back of them. Oh boy. We got one of these on. Okay. We got moderators for this guy. Okay. Let's deal with them. Satan coming right now. Our person here needs your prayer. They need your faith because it's stage 4. It's past the place of chemo, radiation. It's past the place. So God has now stepped in, and He is now the doctor, the physician. He is the medicine, and we are going to speak to her environment. We ain't going to mention who right now, because I spoke about confidentiality, and she's told me that I can have some leeway with it, but sometimes you speak things and people don't know how to speak to the environment. I don't want no raggedy voices right now. We need the right spiritual frequency to speak to it. So I like you all to hold that person that you don't know up in prayer. Just hold them in faith. They're a powerful member of our family, and I'd like you just to cancel cancer. Cancel cancer in our body. Cancel cancer. Out of all those that believe and know that there's a God who's a healer, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh Rapha, He is referred to as the great physician. He is a healer. So I'd like to thank all of you in advance. It's going to be a constant thing. I'm going to come on here also. I think I'm going to do it in the morning. I'm going to do a morning prayer where we're going to do like a morning prayer. If it's not once a week or once a day, I'm just going to figure out how to do that. Okay, so bless you guys. Have an amazing time. This is Del K. Brereton. This is The Real Spiel. It's my birthday, and I appreciate all of you. Bye-bye.